Hello, welcome back to the A Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Ameer. Joining me today will be Brant and Mauro
Hey there.
and Morris Serio.
Hey, how are ya?
Oh, yeah. Doesn't
I
it
give
feel
it a
good
little
to hear
extra
that
this time.
again?
Yeah,
I haven't heard in a while.
I mean,
wasn't
Mauro
feeling
definitely
it.
didn't listen to the last podcast. So we
Yeah,
debated on the front, and we were like, Brant was like, "Oh, should I give us a hey, how are you?" And I was like, I think out of respect, we don't bite the
that's okay. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been offended if you did.
Okay.
Wasn't really feeling all that good last
Should have
week.
done it. Should have
It's
done it.
basically going around my family. This week, my mom's
You
got
guys
it.
have coronavirus or
No, just whatever.
or COVID-19? Is that what they're
Man.
calling it?
I
think
think
so.
so. Yeah.
Whatever, just a cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going on.
But I
My
mean,
throat's been destroyed for like 3 weeks. It's ridiculous. I wake up and can't speak for like an hour. Stupid.
If there's no new podcast after this, you know why, I guess.
We're toast. No, we're fine. My immune system's fine. I'm assuming Mauro's is fine too.
That's
So
fine.
we're
Yeah, I got
surviving.
over it.
We're gonna kill other people with it, but that's fine. Whatever.
Yep.
Natural selection.
A team that plays with natural selection. Look at this awful
Oh.
transition.
Wow, that
You know,
that doesn't all right.
They choose when to play, they want to play. They choose
Yeah.
when they don't want to play.
Yeah.
Your 2019-2020 Toronto Maple Leafs. They just can't seem to play a full 60 minutes. Like that's
No.
the overwhelming like notion that I've gotten with this team, and that's why like I've been pessimistic about this team since the onset of the year. Like
A lot of people have.
and
A
like
lot
I
of
just and Brant's been like, oh, just let them go, ride it out.
I'm not gonna panic until like next month when we come playoff time and whether we're in it or not.
Yeah.
Like, but I think that you have to be in front of it and not, you can't react late to this, something like this. I don't know.
I think you can.
I think that the thing with this team is they show you incredible
How great they can be.
How great they
with
can
like
be.
the 40 game,
Mhm.
and then Tampa they're still in it, and then they come out, they win a game against Vancouver where
Yeah,
it
where
was
Freddie
like
was
2-2 at the end. Outside
Freddie
of the first
outside of the
period.
goals he let in, he was okay, but
Yeah, I mean,
the
well, it
goals
was
he let
like-
in were bad.
Yeah.
Sure,
Like that's the thing. Like
But
it
then
was
he
it
didn't
was
let
like a Michael Hutchinson performance where it was
but he
like
didn't let
he was
anything in
okay.
after that.
no, but like it was a Michael Hutchinson performance where he was okay, but like he let in those goals, and you're like, that's a backbreaker.
It's you still want, like you guys say, make a save, win a game, like he did.
He made a few, yeah. The
So-
Florida game he didn't. But-
No, but okay, so then you have these good to great performances by the team,
Yeah.
and then you just have yesterday where
Stinker.
they score a goal in the second period, and then they just turn it off from there, and they just like play like dog shit again. Where
Yeah.
they were getting chances, but there was like Martin Jones. If he
Martin
plays
Jones
like
put
that,
up a Vezina type performance.
it was unreal.
He made some incredible saves that saved that team the game for the most part.
Yeah.
I stand by that. It was ridiculous. I haven't seen that Martin Jones in 3 years.
Neither is San Jose.
No, exactly. That's why they're out of the playoff spot right now.
Yeah. So it's tough, like just looking at this Leafs team and just there's aspects where you can absolutely believe in them, and then there's also just you just don't see it consistently.
Mhm.
It's tough. Like it's tough as a Leaf fan because
Yeah.
they have the potential to be one of the best teams in the league, and sometimes they are, and sometimes you don't even know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I just want to make one point. So, like, I don't know where you guys stood, but like, I didn't really have the chance to speak last week on how Dubas went about his approach for the trade deadline. And basically,
you
like, the last game they would have played before the trade deadline was the Carolina debacle, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think this just summarizes it completely, right? Like, where they have these incredible performances. They go into Florida and they sweep the 2 games. They get 4 out of 4 points. They look great. But before that, they have that game, and everybody jumped off the bandwagon on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Basically, the way I saw it from Dubas was
I
that
stayed on, but
Well, I mean, yeah, everybody does. They just say it,
You're
right?
delusional.
And I
Man,
think the
it's
way
just-
that
they got beat by Carolina. They didn't get beat by David Ayer. I
They
stand
got
by it.
beat by the bodyguard.
who works
Like-
for them.
Yeah, that
team.
that team played the best game of their life.
Yeah.
And
Like, I mean,
whatever.
the way I see it is Dubas basically saw that, and it's like, if these guys aren't willing to go above and beyond each given night, why am I even giving them a shot? And why am I even going out of my way to add more players, do whatever it needs this year? Because clearly he's seeing that the effort isn't there every given night, so why even bother,
Improving
mortgaging
the
the
game,
future for this team that they don't give the 100% every night?
Yeah.
I'll give them
That's
the
just what
benefit
I've
of the doubt. Like, I don't want to try and make excuses for this team because like they are inconsistent and they need to be better. But like they are coming off
But I
3-day
will.
break. It was Sunday, Monday. Is a 3-day break?
Yeah, but it's
Either-
the start of a
whatever it
Western
was.
road,
But on
right?
top of that, well, now you're going across the country and
Yeah.
you're now starting at 10:30 as opposed to your regular 7. So
Mhm.
like I'll give them the benefit of the doubt a little bit. Where
Hopefully
that's
they
a tough
take the
tough
next
game
two.
to play.
Yeah, like
so
we'd hope
now,
that they take the next two against two winnable
Yeah.
teams, right?
now you don't have that excuse because it's like
Mhm.
you're accustomed now. You've played that 10:30 game. You've got 2 days to get to this next one. Play that. It's against LA on Thursday,
Yeah.
or is it Anaheim first?
I forget the
LA,
order.
LA and then Anaheim.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you get LA on Thursday. LA's been better lately, I think. They were saying on the broadcast. So I mean, maybe I don't know. I just think it's tough. It was a shit game. They all played like they weren't there for the most part. They were good in the first, and then just garbage the rest of the game. But it happens. It's a loss. Move on. Hopefully they get the next 2.
So more your standpoint was like you understood why Dubas didn't make any moves, and
Yeah.
that it was sending a message. I'm in that boat. I wouldn't have hated if he had traded one of the guys, not like one of the main guys, but a
Mhm.
guy to send a message, like
Yeah.
that. Like it's shit or get off the pot. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Yeah. You weren't one of the Leaf fans saying trade Matthews and Marner?
no.
No, but I mean, obviously, I put the blame on them, and I know Marner went out and said I
Marner's been
played
bad.
like dog shit, so he went out and said it
But that
Marner's
fucking
goal.
yesterday. Yeah, that's a different story.
What the?
I didn't catch the game, but I caught that highlight, and I'm like, wow, okay.
The rest of his game was like he showed flashes where he was like, "Oh my god, this is Mitch Marner again," and then he showed flashes where it's like, "Dude, like why? I don't get it." Like sometimes he's one of the best players on the ice, and sometimes he's coughing the puck to everyone he can see. It's like, okay,
It's kind of like a blessing and a curse with his playing style at times because he has those plays where it's like the backhand like pass, like the no look backhand pass, and you're just like, okay, that's great when it works out, but when it doesn't, it's a turnover and the other team's on a rush.
But even the plays he's trying to make, like on his forehand, like there was a play last night where he had space in front of him and he decided to go to Matthews across the ice, and I forget who was in between him, but he just easily just poked it in front, boom, and away they went. Came back the other way in an odd man rush. It's just
It's kind of like
he's
he's
making
too
weird
confident.
decisions.
It's kind of like he's too confident in himself.
Yeah, he needs to reel himself in a little bit, and like you can still make these really cool passes, but like be selective when you do it. I don't know.
No, for sure.
Great goal, and it just kind of
Unbelievable goal.
sure you cough the puck up, but like if you do that, I'll forgive you all day.
Oh, I just
And
did want to make
Florida-
my one point.
Go.
Oh, no, go.
No.
Florida.
Well, Florida lost yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they?
Against Calgary.
And the Leafs are 5 points up on them.
5
So it
points
didn't
up,
hurt them?
no games in hand.
Yeah.
Florida, no.
So-
Florida hasn't played since
Now one
Sunday.
in hand. Yeah, they have one in hand now.
Florida has a big break until Thursday when they play Boston again. So they have a pretty long break
Yeah.
Mhm.
where the Leafs kind of gave them a game back yesterday. But, I mean, their next game's against Boston. You'd hope Boston shows up and does their
Yep.
thing.
I don't know.
So-
Maybe Boston just fucks the Leafs one more time. And they lose.
Yeah,
from-
Oh,
Yeah.
they could. They definitely could. Boston's good at that. They
So,
lose games. They
I
shouldn't.
think to feel comfortable in your playoff spot, which like 5 points right now, you should feel
Mhm.
okay. You shouldn't feel like, oh, we've got
I
this,
feel fine.
but you've got to win those 2 games against LA and Anaheim.
Yeah.
Those
I
are 4
feel
gimme points.
I feel fine with them because Florida has been bad lately. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses in their last 6 games,
Mhm.
and one of them was an overtime loss. That's bad. That team is just they are falling hard,
Yeah, but you can't be like feel assured in another team just playing like shit, and you can
No,
just
obviously you need to be better, but like they've got Boston and then Montreal is an easier game, but then it's St. Louis, Dallas after
St.
that. And
Louis,
I'm like,
yeah.
this is all in the same run where Toronto's getting these easier games, and it'd be nice to win them both. I think they need to win them both, but it's not like do or die. If we don't win this, we're fucked.
Did you guys see the player poll?
For which,
The Athletic?
like a long time
They-
ago?
No, they did one. They released one yesterday.
Okay.
The Maple Leafs player poll. You want me to go over it?
Oh, the Leafs one. I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Most likely to become a coach / GM.
Okay.
Any thoughts?
Zach Hyman.
He was second. It was Jason Spezza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's just because he's old.
Most likely to work in the media.
Mitch Marner.
No. Could be a Nylander thing just because of his looks.
Not even
Ty-
on the board.
Tyson
No.
Berry.
Tyson Berry's
Mauro
another
got
one,
it.
yeah.
Mauro got
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna say
Smartest teammate.
Alex Kerfoot.
I
Bingo.
was going to say Harvard guy.
Yeah. Funniest teammate.
Freddie the
Mitch
Goat.
Marner.
Nope.
Frederick Anderson.
Nope.
Oh no, he's he's like an introvert.
I can't even think of who's on the fucking team. Jack Campbell.
Nope.
I heard he's big into like replying on everybody's.
Yo, that was
Hilarious.
hilarious.
That was a good
That was
guess. That was a very good
The
guess.
official team
I
reply
love
guy.
Jack Campbell.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I love Jack Campbell. He's such a great. He's so
See the
supportive.
Drew Doughty story.
No.
Jack Campbell bought Drew Doughty a Gucci tie or something. Just cause or something.
Wow.
He's just so nice. Such a good soul.
It was funniest teammate was Tyson
Blame
Berry,
him for that loss. Tyson Berry, really.
which I was like, okay, if he's the funniest teammate, ship him the fuck out of here. Why are you having fun?
That's funny. I love it.
Loudest teammate. That's a
Loudest. Mitch
that's
Marner.
easy. Yeah, big go.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
think he was that loud. Just energetic.
Teammate that
Okay.
puts the most money on the board, Tyson Berry.
Just a good guy. I don't know.
Most underrated, Brant.
Tyson
Zach
Berry.
Hyman.
Yes, sir, Mauro.
Let's go.
Yo, Mauro's on fire with these, actually.
I know half of the like I've met half of the player. I kind of get their personalities.
Teammate you wouldn't want to fight. There's a tie.
Kyle
Oh.
Clifford.
And
Jake Muzzin.
Jake Muzzin.
bingo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Best poker player.
Jake Muzzin.
Nope.
Wait. Morgan Riley.
Nope. You guys can get one more guess each.
Frederick Anderson. You can't even
Nope.
tell what his face is saying.
Brant.
John Tavares.
Nope. Alex Kerfoot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Worst
He's
poker
smart.
player. This kind of
John
makes sense.
Tavares.
Mitch Marner.
Nope.
Yeah. No?
Nope. When I tell you, you'll understand it.
William Nylander.
Nope.
I don't know.
Austin Matthews.
Kasperi Kapanen.
Oh, he's pretty stupid.
That's a good one.
All in.
Yeah.
You have nothing, Kasperi.
I can see it.
I was
Best dressed?
bluffing. What's
What was that
that?
one?
Best dressed.
Best dress.
Austin Matthews.
He was second.
Really? That guy was on GQ.
Number one makes sense.
Morgan Riley. No.
No.
Jason Spezza?
What?
Nope. Nope. How are
Very-
you guys getting this?
William Nylander.
Yes, thank you.
That's
I
a big
got that
over
far.
the head. That one went right over my head.
I was
Worst
just
dress.
thinking like pregame outfits. Worst
Worst-
dress?
Worst dress is a three-way tie.
Pierre Engvall.
Nope.
Kasperi
Freddie the-
Kapanen.
no,
Nope. What'd you
Frederick
say? Brent?
Anderson. I said Freddie the
Nope.
Goat, but
Freddie the Goat's on there.
Is
He's
he?
one of them.
um,
Justin Hall's the other.
Justin
And
Hall.
the
I
last
forgot he
one
is.
is Zach
Jake-
Hyman.
Zach Hyman.
Yeah,
Wow, really?
that one kind of surprised me. What
He's a
what
Toronto
neighborhood
boy.
do they live in? Not gonna
Toronto
do that.
Mans.
And
Alright.
that's it. It was a fun day.
That's neat.
Yep.
No,
Cool to hear
here's
about
my little fun thing. I didn't want to interrupt Amir before, but since
Okay.
we're on the topic of like feel good and funny stories, so I just have a preluding question to this. In your opinion, best Leaf of all time? Like whether you watch them or not. Like who's the best Leaf of all time?
Mats? I don't know.
Talent-wise? Daryl Sittler.
Okay. My answer to that would have been Dave Keon.
Oh, okay.
Dave Keon came into the store the other day.
Okay.
And he was in and we were talking like Leafs. And he goes, the Leafs are really missing that defense they used to have that used to play with Riley. And I'm like, wait, what? Zaitsev? God. I'm like Zaitsev? He's like, no, not the Russian, the other one. He played really well with Riley. I'm like,
no.
He's like, yeah, they really miss him on defense right now. And I couldn't stop laughing. God. I could not stop laughing. I have it marked down. February 27th, 2020, the day the quote of the century happened for 2020. It was unbelievable. And he said it seriously.
He said it to the right kid too.
He said it to me, and my buddy looked at me because he knows. Like on Monday, I was making up all this stuff to my friends. I'm like, yeah, he's coming back. The Leafs are interested in bringing back Hainsey. Like I was doing all these fake tweets and stuff for them, and they all bought it. I'm like, yeah, he's coming back. And then on Thursday, he pitches this thing to me. He's like, yeah, the Leafs are really missing Hainsey. And he looks at me. He's like, are you fucking serious? I'm not going to stop hearing this for the rest of the day.
You know what, Mauro? You have the same mindset as one of the greatest Leafs of all time, though. So I mean, you should take some pride in that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You're a 60-year-old man, Mauro. That's what you are.
79. I don't know. 79 years
I don't know how old he is.
Was he not on the last team that won the cup?
Yeah.
That was over 50 years ago.
It was 50. My dad was born in 67.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same with my dad. He was in the cradle.
Mm.
Yeah, that was just my fun little story.
That's hilarious. It's a little respect loss, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. It's definitely not Dave Keon, the greatest Leaf ever.
No, it's no longer even.
Is it Johnny Bauer?
Where are we?
Not Johnny. What's his name?
Johnny Bauer is like the greatest person.
He's the greatest personality in Leafs history. I'd like to say. Yeah. Like he's just been so involved in the community.
He was just there for so long after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything else with the Leafs?
Can I just say Pierre Engvall does nothing on this team?
Penalty kill.
Hot take, maybe. Yeah. Okay. But like,
and he's really good at penalty kill.
Outside of that, he's just on the ice.
He's just there.
Constantly. Yeah. I have not seen him do anything productive, but even when he's on the ice, it's like you can see even Goat's doing more. I'm watching Pierre buzz around.
I disagree with that. Goat doesn't.
Dude, he's starting to throw his weight around more. He had a goal the other day. His last goal didn't come against a Zamboni driver. I don't know, man. Pierre just doesn't really do anything anymore. He's just there.
Well, he's ranked as the 77th winger using Corsi, I assume. Goat is 143.
That's fine. I like Goat more. He's bigger.
He's double as big.
He's more friendly.
You know who's after the first two games we saw him and everyone was just like, "Oh, he looks good." And since then he's been dog shit. Yep.
I mean, he also got scratched and he was sick. So I think that's kind of I give him a pass. He was flying last game or Saturday.
If McKayev comes back, I think that changes a lot.
Yeah, he obviously pushes some guys in the lineup. Yeah. Oh, we didn't really.
Well, that's the other thing.
We didn't write down
the injury. The injury.
We didn't write down the fact that Riley and CC might be back next week.
I told you that Riley's going to come back too soon. That's what me and Brant were talking about it last week. I just had a feeling that Riley's going to come back too soon.
It doesn't matter now because they didn't do anything at the deadline. So
I don't think there's
it's better to have them
with him because it's a broken bone. It's not something that's going to get aggravated. Maybe I don't really know broken bones that well, but I don't think you can.
I thought when you broke your bone, it comes back stronger. No?
Exactly. I don't think you can. Yeah. You're not going to. It's not like a knee problem.
My right wrist has never been the same.
He's not going to. Mine's fine. He's not going to turn into Erik Karlsson where he can't turn a certain way. I think he'll be fine. McKayev, on the other hand, his is a wrist. I said this last week. It's a wrist. That's something you don't want to rush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching that San Jose game,
Mm-hmm.
I really wish the Leafs had Evander Kane.
Oh, he's something.
He's disgust. Like he's
He
just a
doesn't play
dick.
like that all the time, though.
Huh?
If he was like that all the time, it's like a Kasperi Kapanen situation where it's like
Mhm.
when he's at his best,
Yeah.
it's like, damn.
I think Evander Kane's
Much
earned
better.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
much
yeah,
better
okay,
than Kasperi
yeah.
Kapanen, but he's
Yeah.
also
Also, his fade. Did you see like when they were going over like the no buckets? Oh,
No.
they were showing off like Brent Burns, and then they went to Vander Kane, and Vander Kane had the sickest fucking fade.
stylish dude, man.
I was just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like when they signed Kane to that 7x7, I was like, ugh.
It's ugly, but it works when
It's
he's
not bad now. He's giving
it
you
works
2
when he's at
really
his
good
best.
years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I like that contract better than Erik Karlsson's contract.
Oh, for sure.
So in comparison to Kasperi Kapanen,
Yeah.
Evander Kane through his first. So Evander Kane is now 28.
Mhm.
His first like 6-7 years in the NHL, he didn't score. He's never really had more than 40 points.
He's never hit 30 since last year.
Yeah.
Oh, his first year, his second year.
He had 30 goals in his third year.
30.
57.
Yeah,
points.
rather it's 30.
Which, okay, but like 14 goals, 19,
Wasn't
17.
he like
Yeah.
18 or 19 when he played in the NHL though?
He's never been healthy either, which is like
He goes as far back as the Atlanta Thrashers, man.
he was
He's been in the
definitely
league a
young.
while.
He's only 28 now. He started in 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he
He's
was
drafted same years
literally
with
18.
Kadri.
He was 18 years old
Mm-hmm.
playing in the
So he's a couple years earlier in Cap, but like it's the same kind of projection right now. Like Cap's in the same area where he's like 50, 60 points.
Definitely his
Pretty
physicality, though. You don't get
Yeah.
that with
like the
Kapanen.
Pins.
You have lately.
Not
When
118
Cap's at his best, it's the same thing. And that's what I've said for the last 2 years. Is when Cap's at his best, you've seen what he can be the last couple weeks.
But
It's because like
he's
he'll
at
go
that
out, he'll
like
throw his
what?
weight around.
But he's at that what? Like 10 games a year?
It's
Yeah.
the consistency.
That's exactly what Evander Kane was doing early, right? Like that was the big knock on him.
Early,
Is he
sure.
makes
Well,
so many
I know it's double the amount that Kapanen is making, but I mean, you're paying for the consistency. And
Oh,
when
absolutely.
you're getting Kane, right?
Mhm.
But I mean, Kane earned that deal in the what? 11th
Second half
year-
of the year when he got traded to
11th year of his
and-
career.
Mhm.
Like Kasperi Kapanen's in his 4th year, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, similar players. Kane's obviously better, but
Mhm.
Cap to me is Evander Kane light.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mhm.
That's
For-
fair.
Much less.
Like
we
the
can move on.
prototype is like Matthew Tkachuk, and basically just
That's what
be
you-
different iterations of that player.
Yeah. He's just
Uh,
as much of an asshole when he tries.
Yeah.
People hate him.
who Cap?
Like,
yeah. So GM meetings are this week. Are we done with the Leafs?
Yeah, we're good. I got
Yeah.
The 2 things that really came out of it was the cap and where it's
Mhm.
going to be, and also the puck tracking. How bonkers is it that the league is going to introduce the puck tracking in the playoffs?
Yeah.
That's fucking
Use-
stupid. I'm
Use
sorry.
one puck for
Yeah, I don't
82
know why
games and then change the fucking puck.
Did you read the article from TSN about it?
No.
So Frank Saravelli tweeted it out, and I went through the article, and like they're talking about how some players have tried it and they've tested it and it doesn't break and all that. The biggest comment from that I saw was Sidney Crosby tried the puck and he noticed a considerable difference between like the edges on the one puck and the edges on the other. And this is a guy that's like night and day above everyone else when it comes to like the feel of the puck and what
Yeah,
he can
sure.
do and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I mean, I get it why he would make a difference, but like if he's noticing it, there's a problem.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You don't bring that
gotta,
in. the
You got to let
playoffs.
guys like Crosby, Patrick Kane, Mitch Marner, guys that handle the puck.
Your best guys,
Exactly.
like the best guys in your league should
The guys with the best hands.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's ridiculous. I think
It-
it's a cool idea. I think the puck
no,
tracking
absolutely.
Yeah, like just not at the start of the playoffs. I mean, at least bring it in.
Introduce it now.
apparently they're testing it through 9 games from now and the end of the year or something like that.
Okay,
One of
but
the-
if it's,
I don't know what they're doing like a big thing.
I think you've got to test it during the year because if
I think
something
you
goes
start it
wrong,
next year.
Yeah.
You start in the preseason. You don't
I
start
would
it in the
start
middle
it
of the season.
like realistically. Does it make a big difference if you started now versus in the playoffs? No.
No. Well, I mean, even now, there's a lot of key games going on. You don't want to be
But
fucking
it's
around.
a level playing field if you do it, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
But what does puck tracking technology bring to the game, though? Is my question, right? Like, is it for like goal line? Is it for goal line? Like, I don't get it.
Like, so I think they're trying to iterate that or integrate that. Holy shit! At some point, where they have things on the post that can tell whether or not cross the line.
But won't they have like because they'll be able to track the puck, they'll be able to track where it is on the line.
Yeah, like
I would assume.
look at
you
tennis.
get like a map of the ice and you could see where it is.
Yeah,
it only records when it's on the ice though, or something like that.
But it'll be
it's only active when it's on the ice. Once it leaves the playing surface, it shuts down. So I don't know if you take a shot in the air and it doesn't record it, but
like you guys watch tennis where like they have the the serve, right? Like that technology is like huge for them, right? And you think that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you were making a point. I couldn't hear you. I think
I was gonna say like it saves so many umpires from having to deal with shit. It's like it's no longer a judgment call. It's
right,
like here's the video. Sorry,
it's concrete. Yeah, like when you have these coaches challenges and it's like, oh well, it's still not conclusive, right? Like it's left with a question where it's not, like you're saying, it's a judgment call rather than you're seeing it, the ball technology right as it hits the thing whether it's in or out, right to the millimeter, right?
Yeah,
like that's the kind of technology I'd think that would be really beneficial to the game.
But I don't know if you can track it in the air.
I don't know. Like I'm not like as far as I read, once it leaves the ice, it's no longer tracked. Which the other thing too is they're $100 pucks to create this technology. It's $100 a puck. They go through 44. They bring 44 a night.
Even soccer's got goal line technology. Even when it's in the air, they're able to track it. Like it's not something that's new.
That's $4,000 in pucks for a game. And I know a lot of those are going to carry over to your next game, but like that's $4,000 you're spending on the puck.
Yeah, but figure how much you're making on the game.
Less. Well, it's not like you're going to gain any more from this technology. Are you?
I think so.
Maybe betting.
That I think teams want the analysis from it. How fast does my player go with the puck?
Yeah, but you can measure that with that. You don't they don't need the puck technology for that, right? It's just weird. I don't know. It seems like an unnecessary move.
Did they do it during the All-Star game?
It did, but they didn't use that puck, I don't think. I think they just did some different type of tracking system, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people hate it. Like the whole puck trail thing and all that, they did not get any positive reviews.
Cool.
It's called the Hawkeye system. I think that's what they use in tennis, soccer, and whatever. Like even baseball, they've got pitch track, right? Like it's used worldwide. Like I don't know why it's been so hard for them.
Pitch tracks is the worst. It's so
I know, but it still gives you at least a visual of how
that's a little hard.
Far.
Yeah, a strike zone's a lot more judgment call in the sense that it's different consistently on everybody.
Person size.
So,
and then also, so the cap could be anywhere from between 84 and 88.2 million. And I thought Steve Dangle's tweet was pretty funny. He was like, "It's going to be 84. It's 84. Don't do this again." Because remember last year when all GMs were like, "It's going to be on the high end." It's always on the low end. And $4.2 million is a big difference.
I find that nuts. It's 84 to 88, right? You said the numbers are?
Yeah.
That's a contract for
That's what I mean. That's why it means a lot.
That's a full player that you're varying this by. And that's
keeping Zach Hyman on his next contract, whether or not you can.
My brother and I were saying too, that's the difference between the Leafs bringing in Pietrangelo and having room to re-sign somebody and not being able to re-sign anybody.
Yep.
It's nuts. I feel like you need to condense that range a little more and be like, okay, it's between 84 and 85.5. Narrow it down a little bit. $4 million is a lot of money when it comes to salary cap.
There's a reason what the best thing would have been. Yeah. Take out the fucking salary cap.
Yeah, but you think they're smart enough to pull that move?
Fuck, unbelievable. We want competitive balance. Buddy, look at the playoffs. Has there been more of a competitive balance thing?
Look at every other league. Tell me which one isn't balanced. Basketball before
NBA for a little stretch.
a little
It's
bit
still
because
different though.
State. But like the outside of Golden State,
There's
everybody else.
peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like whatever teams LeBron's on.
Yeah.
And then someone different every couple of years. Like no one said that like having multiple like trilogies of matches isn't a bad thing. Like it creates
sucks for some fan bases.
it creates rivalries. I don't know. Like it's great.
Yeah.
Also, like
But like look, baseball is the only sport without an actual salary cap, right?
well, yes. But they have
Like,
the
without
luxury
a hard
tax. The luxury
no,
tax is the
it's
same
only
thing.
without a hard cap though, right?
Yeah.
And I would say that's probably the most parity among professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
any team could win the World Series, and
It's
really-
just that the way the NHL does it is the worst
Yeah.
because they're the most strict out of the
Mhm.
4 major sports.
and it's a low ass salary cap compared to everything else.
Yeah,
That's
because
all
you-
revenue.
your league
based,
creates
though,
the least
right?
amount of revenue in comparison. But
Yeah.
well, the NFL they have the cap also.
They have a hard cap.
I'm pretty sure, don't they?
I believe they have weird cap rules. I think,
But you can cut guys, so it's different. So
there was one.
what?
Are we done with the cap thing, or you got more on that?
No, I'm done with
I
it.
was just
Like,
gonna, I was gonna
I was
say
gonna-
one thing though. Doesn't the NHL have a US TV deal kicking in? Like I think at
Coming
the
in-
end
I
of
think
next
the
year.
year
right?
after.
Yeah, so like it's just
After
gonna
next
keep
year.
going up. Which I mean, if you're the Leafs right now, like you're kind of laughing in the sense that you sign everybody to these major contracts, but at least you're
But
gonna
it's
have
not
the
long
flexibility.
enough.
Yeah, you can do it again. Though is the problem. Is like when they run out, the cap's going to be even higher because you now have the TV deal on top of the cap going up
Yeah.
because of the expansion franchise. So they run out just in time for the cap to be high enough that you can do all this over again, which is
Mhm.
kind of interesting. They're
Which
smart.
sucks.
They know what they're doing. Which sucks. You got to deal with it again. But
Yeah,
They should have just signed them to the longest term possible now. I mean,
8 years, yeah. But then you're paying.
more, yes, but it's still
You're paying
less
Mitch
than
Marner
what you
$15
would.
million. Like I don't want.
Warner's next contract's gonna be worse than this one.
Yeah, and I'm not looking forward to that either.
Yeah,
At least we don't have to deal with that for 6
like
years.
what's Matthews gonna get his next one? 15 with the new cap,
After he wins 3 straight Rocket Richard trophies? Yeah.
the 3 straight cups, buddy.
Okay. Yeah. He's going to win the cup,
Oh,
the Hart,
that's
and the
one.
Rocket Richard all in 1 year. He might even win the Hart Ross.
So Ottawa had a CEO for 54 days.
Before we get to that,
this is funny.
mention, the offsides was another thing they were discussing at the GM meetings.
That you just
Yeah.
have to be on near the line,
It's
or
the-
like you don't have to be
Even
in
if
contact
your
with the line
skates in the
or at
air,
line.
and it's
Because apparently it would save, I think it was 14 goals this season that would have counted if it was if they changed it to the breaking the plane rule, which doesn't sound like a lot, but like that could be the decision on at least 5 or 6 games.
They had this one against in the Tampa Boston game where Yanni Gordon
yeah.
Or 2 days.
smoked a slap shot from like the beyond the dots.
Yeah.
And they called it offsides because Tyler Johnson left a little early.
Mhm.
It's tough, man.
It's not in spirit of the rule.
I'm here for that, like the breaking of the plane thing. I think that I understand why guys make the call now because by the rule they're doing the right
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that rule needs to be changed so that it's fair for. I think it's just stupid when you're breaking it down to like, oh, his blade came off the ice by a quarter of an inch. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like in other sports, soccer, the whole of the ball has to go out in order for it to be deemed a goal, in order for it to be deemed out of bounds. Like in, football, as long as if it breaks the plane, like a millimeter, as long as if it breaks the plane, it's a touchdown, right? Like I don't understand why, even though his skate's a millimeter off the ice, say it's offside.
It's still
I
behind
never
the wall.
understood it.
How does it affect the goal?
Exactly.
Yeah, especially when the play goes on for a while and like you get a shot and you get the puck back and you pass it around a little bit and it's like 30 seconds later that you score. I think those are a joke.
The fact that we have to like clench our butts being like, but was he offside? It's like
When
30
he entered the
seconds ago
zone.
when we entered the zone.
3.5
had
Yeah.
no impact on the play.
They've been hemming them in the zone for over a minute now, where there could be an offside call at the end of this. We don't know, right? Like,
That's the worst too when you see a play you're like, "Oh, that might have been offside," and you're like hoping they don't score because you know it's not going to
you're
count.
hoping
Exactly.
they clear the zone and then they come back in.
Yeah,
Because if
exactly.
you score on like a power play that you were offsides,
Mhm.
do we go back to that time in the power play that okay.
Yeah,
But
that's a good
still, like
point.
that's significant
You
amount of time that like has been
realistically,
wasted.
you could like it'd be near impossible, but you could like kill off the entire period at like the 10-minute mark and run the period out and then score and then find out
Uh-huh.
you're offside and have to reset it back to the 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
If there's no stoppages.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say, what if there was a power play
Yeah.
and you're in their zone for 2 minutes
hmm
and then you score with 1 second left?
Yeah.
You
They
gotta
mentioned
go all the
they
way
mentioned
back, right?
spit and chicklets ones. I think Whitney was talking about it when he said like there's a goal that went in the net and like you don't want to play from there on out because there's no point because like they scored. So
Mhm,
you're just kind of like I don't want to be on the ice for this because it's just wasted minutes.
mhm.
But yeah,
Are we done? We're done with this now.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
So Jim Little was named the CEO of the Ottawa Senators 54 days ago. He no longer has his job.
Yeah, this is funny.
I didn't know that. Okay.
54 days ago.
Oh. Wow. Job security is really good in Ottawa.
I mean, it's an absolute competent franchise. Like they're the
They're
gold
a team.
standard.
We're a team.
They are a team.
Eugene
Mark,
Melnyk's my favorite.
can you explain the situation? Basically, what happened?
Okay, so I have the post here. Collections. So basically, on Valentine's Day, Jim
Mhm.
Little and Eugene Melnyk, the owner of the Senators, had some discourse
Disagreement.
going on. I guess they weren't seeing eye to eye
They had a
on the
falling out.
approach being taken
Okay.
with the team. And basically, like, I don't know, they disputed about it. And like he's saying that, I swore and, it were things that I said that whatever. I was cussing and whatnot. And he said, I later apologized for it. And I know today it had something to do with like, what was it? Like conduct. I think it was something to do with his conduct, right? And as soon as you hear, workplace conduct, you assume that it's him, doing something sexual outside of work, right? But he's like, no, anything aside from that, like, isn't true. Like he's basically saying that him getting fired is solely based on the fact that he had an outburst with Eugene Melnyk over the phone on Valentine's Day.
So he really lasted only 30 something days.
Yeah.
In essence, yeah.
Sort of fired back then. Like you dug his grave.
So why don't you fire him then?
Why do we ever try and put logic to something Eugene Melnyk ever does?
Before the trade deadline.
Well, because the CEO doesn't have much say in that. Not much.
I am a strong-willed person, and the disagreement included me using some very strong language with him over the phone, including swearing, which he did not appreciate, and for which I later apologized. It was these events, to my knowledge, which led to my dismissal. Any other inference from the statement is wrong. Now, I didn't read the Ottawa statement. That's the only thing, which I'll pull up.
I think regardless, this team could absolutely turn it around next year by simply just getting the first and second overall pick.
And fourth.
Yep. But they probably won't.
Dude, the Islanders are falling.
Are they? Are they in the they're still in the playoffs right now, aren't they?
Barely. Like they are holding on to it, but I'll pull it up quick because I have them here. They are currently at 78 points, which is 3 up on Carolina, 4 up on New York.
How's Peugeot been since coming over?
I don't know. He got in a fight in his first game.
Yeah. Scored a goal, I think, in his debut or his second game, and then he was a -5 last night. They got shelled.
Yeah. First, second, and third round pick we gave up.
No, wasn't the third conditional on winning the cup?
No, I don't think so. Was that the condition?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Let me look it up. You can keep going with something else if you want.
Going to the thing. Who's worse? Eugene Melnyk? Oh, let's talk about the Hart first. because we can transition with that.
Okay.
Who do you guys think should win the Hart right now?
Nathan McKinnon.
I'm
Explain
going with.
yourself.
I was going to say, do you want me to keep going on it?
Yeah.
So Nathan McKinnon to me is the second best player in the NHL. And without Nathan McKinnon, the Colorado Avalanche aren't a playoff team.
Sure, but that's most teams without the best player.
No, because I think like everyone's looking at Leon Draisaitl and they're like, oh, McDavid went down for a month or 3 weeks. 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. McDavid went down for 2 weeks. They kept on winning. I don't know if that bolsters Draisaitl's stance because like he went down. Okay, they keep winning, but if Draisaitl goes down, they're going to keep on winning too. So are either of those guys really the most valuable player to their team?
It's arguable.
I don't see it. Like I think the fact that both of them like they're gonna finish with two guys over 100 points, and they're both minus players, also doesn't help their case.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's just like McKinnon has lost Rantanen for multiple months at a time twice now. Landeskog for an entire month and a half or 2 months or whatever that was. And like that team is not that good. Like they've had a lot of injury problems too. Like they've lost Grubauer.
Few and far between.
They've
right?
lost Grubauer many times. Francouz is a rookie and he's doing okay. They won a game the other day. They only gave up 18 shots and they had Michael Hutchison in net. Like it's just McKinnon is just carrying that team, man.
2-1. Hey, 2-1. That sounds like a Michael Hutchison carried team.
Is it 2-1? Oh, in the Colorado game?
Was it not against Detroit?
It was against Detroit. And
come on.
Detroit has been shut out 9 times this year.
I believe it.
That's crazy.
9 times. That's tough. They played tonight, I think, too. What day is it today? Tuesday? Wednesday. Yeah, they play the Ducks tonight. No, it's just the guy, he's easily the most valuable player to his team.
Yeah.
And that is by the rule, I think it should be his.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand why people are going to say Draisaitl, and I think that's going to be your pick too, isn't it?
Well, that's my pick. No, I agree with you in the stance that if you're going based on what the trophy description says, where he's most important to his team, then it should be McKinnon. Mm-hmm. But dude, they've had I don't need to reiterate his points, right? He's already made them, and I agree with them. But like that being said, like Draisaitl's basically answered the bell. Like
Draisaitl is the Ted Lindsay winner this year.
Yeah, voted on by the players for sure.
For the best player in the league?
Best player in the league, yeah.
The fact that he's doing what he's doing is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other day, we don't have this down, but they scored, him and McDavid both had 5 points in the game the other day. He
scored 4 goals yesterday.
They were only together for 2 of those. 2 goals they were together for.
So that's the thing. That's the case I'm trying to make for him is that everybody for the longest time is saying Draisaitl's been carried by McDavid. Mm-hmm. And for the majority of this year, like I've been following the Oilers. I have Draisaitl in like 2 pools. So I've been looking closely at, especially one of the teams that I go up against each week in this pool I'm in. He has McDavid, I have Draisaitl, and they're on separate lines. So the fact that he's doing this on himself, I know McDavid's on the first line and they play a lot of power play. And I know that those are definitely a lot of his points that, to your point that he's a minus player. Yeah. So I think just the fact that he's doing it on his own line, it's kind of like the Crosby Malkin 1-2. And, Malkin won his did he not win an MVP? He won a Hart. So, I mean, in the sense that, both players are both
out for the entire year, whereas McDavid was over 2 weeks. So I think that's kind of like, there's the difference between those ones where it's just like, you saw what Malkin could do on his own, where you had 4 games that were kind of where McDavid was out.
Mm-hmm.
I think Draisaitl's been great, and I think it's great that they have them on separate lines. I've been saying that since Draisaitl got good, that this team is not going to succeed unless you have them on different lines.
Mm-hmm.
And
even the sense that they're in a playoff position, right? They're actually, the team is succeeding for, they've been a laughing stock, even when McDavid is on the team that, it's McDavid and Draisaitl, and then the rest of the team just doesn't show up, right? Like they've actually been competing. They're second in the Pacific. They're a game behind
They're first, aren't they?
Vegas. No, they have a game in hand on Vegas.
Didn't they pass
2 points behind?
Are they?
Yeah, Vegas won yesterday.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. Because I checked yesterday morning.
Yeah, they shut out the Devils, so they popped ahead. But I mean, like in the sense that they finally answered the bell where they're living up to the hype that they get surrounded by these players, and obviously it's bound to come to them because they're the two leaders in the league, right?
Yep.
So he's my pick.
All right. Ameer, you got something different, right?
Yeah, I have Panarin as mine because
Okay.
you just look at his team. Okay, take away McKinnon and Panarin. Who's got the better team? Colorado's a better team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but New York, I think they win as many games because New York's got the goaltending.
Do they though?
That's the only dude.
I mean, Zibanejad has been ripping.
They
it
weren't
this year.
in the playoff race.
only played 10 games though.
Yeah, but they weren't in the playoff race till they called up Shesterkin.
Yeah.
I just think that, like, I agree that Panarin. I think Panarin's above Draisaitl in the race for Hart personally, but
I kind of think he's above McKinnon. If they make the playoffs and that's still an F, I think he should win it.
Zibanejad's also been there with him, and he's been really good.
Zibanejad was out for a lot.
He was out for the first month of the season.
Yeah.
And then he's got like 30 goals. Like he's been.
And they were bad.
They were bad. No, Zibanejad was good for like the first 2 weeks, and then he was out. Yeah, and then he's come back.
Yeah, he's come back and he hasn't missed a beat.
Panarin's made Ryan Strome into a good player.
That's fair. He has. Yeah. Ryan Strome's not a first-line center anywhere else.
He's got 59 points. He's made Ryan Strome into a 59-point player.
I'll give you that. Like, I don't disagree with Artemi Panarin as a Hart candidate. I just think McKinnon over Panarin, personally.
And then my other point is, like, look at Colorado's defense, and then look at...
Okay, who on that defense outside of Cale Makar, you're like, that's a defenseman?
Eric Johnson.
These are two guys that are like... Ian Cole, you know for a fact, was a third-pairing defenseman on Pittsburgh.
Like, he put up top minutes with the Penguins, did he not?
He might have been second.
In the playoff runs, he was right at the top.
Yeah, when everyone in their top,
that's the kind of defenseman you need to win championships.
Yeah, no, I get it. He's a great defenseman.
Everyone on their defense is agreeing.
It's an ugly name, but they do the job very,
Graves
very well.
is the 16th best left-handed D. Gerard's the 18th best right-handed D.
Sam Gerard.
Ian Cole's 42nd. Johnson's 35th.
Yeah, timeout, rewind. I kind of brushed over that. Great. Ryan Graves? Adam Graves? Which Graves is it?
Ryan Graves.
Ryan Graves, dude. He's quietly having a really good year.
Yeah, he just scores points.
I don't get it. It's nuts. But good for him.
And then, so the Rangers have Adam Fox, and he's really... Him and Trouba are the only one to play defense. And then D'Angelo just scores points. He doesn't play defense.
No, he's Tyson Barrie.
And then their left side is fucking awful.
Well, it was Brady Shea.
Lindgren's not even ranked because he's new.
Young. Yeah.
Brendan Smith is the 125th left-handed D. Ooh. And Eric Stahl's the 120th.
Mark Stahl.
Yeah, sorry. Whoops.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It happens. There's three of them. Yeah. They also had Brady Shea in there, so I mean, it's a little different. But like that team is still good. I think. Who's better? Like, if you took both of them out of their teams and you went with what happened to the rest of the team throughout the year, who's a better team? Because Colorado without Landy, Rantanen, and McKinnon, they're not even.
Okay, Landy's played 49 games.
And out of 60, he missed 20 games.
Zibanejad's only played in 4 more games than him.
Okay, I would go to Rantanen.
Rantanen's played in 42.
So there's 2 guys that have missed over 20 games.
Okay, but
Rantanen's going to miss.
Who's Panarin's Rantanen? Thank you very much.
I don't even know who's Chris Kreider. I guess Chris Kreider.
But he doesn't play with Chris Kreider.
I don't know, man. I think the Rangers are. Oh, I still think that team is better this year without.
Doesn't it? Isn't it? So people are always like, it's more impressive that a center is more valuable than a winger. But when a winger can cover for a center,
that's crazy.
I think that's more impressive.
The fact that he's living up to that contract blows my mind.
It's insane, and the fact that he could have gotten more from the Islanders.
Oh, fucking Lou. I think all of these things that are just like not falling Lou's way are saving the fact that he's a horrible GM. Like the fact that he couldn't complete a Parise trade. He didn't get Joe Thornton. He didn't get to sign Panarin for more money than he got.
$13 million. with what they were offering.
He lost Tavares to the very team that just guy that just replaced him for his job.
Yep.
He's not good.
Nope.
And I think the fact that he's missing out is kind of helping him more than it's hurting him.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. He gave up a first, a second, and I forgot to look up the terms, but I'm pretty sure it's still a third too.
Yeah.
He also
Yeah,
has
that's
more even strength points than McKinnon does.
Okay,
I think that's
fair.
same
He's been
amount of
really
game-winning
good.
goals.
It's been really good. I just McKinnon over Panarin for me.
I disagree.
It's close.
I feel like
I'll give you.
it's
It's really close.
Yeah.
McKinnon's also not
I
good
think
at
it just
face-off dot. Just saying, he's 42%.
Yeah.
That's
Face-offs
not
are
good.
overrated.
Is it?
I think the NHL just has such a big bearing on whether or not the team has success, which is why I don't see Panarin as much as I do McKinnon.
That's another fact. If
Yeah,
the Rangers squeak
I'm not
in,
saying I agree with it, right? But I'm just saying that it's just been such a huge bearing on the trophy for the last
that's
5-10 years.
I didn't even think of that. The fact that Colorado's also like top 5 in the league right now, whereas the Rangers are like, I would say the teams are comparable without the two. Maybe the Rangers are worse, but I think they're close, especially with all the injuries that Colorado's had this year. It's definitely really close. They have better goaltending by
I don't
far.
think that the injuries are like fair to compare. Honestly, like
No, but this season the teams, I think outside of those two,
the injuries
they're
are pretty
close.
comparable.
I think the two teams are close this year. If not, like, if I'll give the Rangers a slight advantage in being not as good, but I think they're comparable outside of the two stars. And the fact that McKinnon has that team top 5 in the league.
You said you didn't like plus minus earlier, but you did use it to bump up your argument.
It's a stupid stat, I think it's nuts. The reason why I can use plus minus on David, and the only reason the only reason I put any bearing to it on McDavid and Draisaitl is they score so much. They're always on the ice when they're scoring.
Does McKinnon though, right?
Okay, but I'd also take any of the defenses of New York and Colorado than Edmonton.
Right. But like, it scares me that they're minus players, despite the fact that they score more than anyone in the league.
Of Colorado and New York before I took that of Edmonton.
Oh, Edmonton's goaltending is going to be the reason why they don't win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That also, to me, has a bearing, right? Like, despite the fact that, you know, obviously they're the 2 points leaders and it's an easy take for anybody, right? Like, you know, the other two portions of the team, the defense and the goaltending for both your teams that you guys suggested, are definitely better than the Oilers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So using plus minus, McKinnon's plus 11.
Okay. McKinnon's plus 11?
Plus 33.
Yeah, but that
was on the Rangers?
Pretty good. I'll give him that.
What's the line they play on?
Zibanejad and
Strome. It's Strome, Jesper Fost right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Where's Zibanejad hurt again?
Zibanejad's on the first line. He's not even on the first line.
Aaron's on the second?
Well, that's how they just list it.
It's kind of like the Leafs second, where Matthews is technically the second line.
Yeah.
So Colorado is tied for the third most wins in the NHL.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Just saying. Also,
I think your defense is significantly better.
Who? Colorado?
Yeah.
This year. Names wise, it's close. But they have been playing a hell of a lot better.
What were you going to say, Brant?
I was going to say, kind of on that topic of the fact that they have so many wins, can we change the NHL's point system?
To
get rid of the fucking loser point?
Yeah, I agree. Or no, you can leave it in.
No, just get rid of it.
Win worth 3.
It's only a playoff team right now.
Worth 3.
They know how to lose.
Regulation wins worth 3.
Okay.
Regulation and overtime wins worth 3.
No.
Regulation wins.
Regulation wins 3. Overtime wins 2, and then OT losses 1.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Based on the format, sure, but if you were to do 5-on-5 overtime, I'd still make the point 3, make it 3 points for a win. But based on 3-on-3, yeah, I'd only give the 2 points. Yeah, I agree with that.
No, because so each game you're earning 3 points.
Don't give up a point for a loss.
Yeah.
Why do you get a point for losing?
I
Like
think
they're
making it to overtime.
behind Columbus with more wins than them.
Yep.
Isn't Boston the king of the loser point?
Boston has 13 loser points. They have one more win than Tampa, and they are currently 9 points ahead of Tampa.
I see they have 12 loser points, but yes.
That's what I said. They have 13.
Toronto,
Oh, sorry.
Toronto has 8. So it's not.
Points. Toronto also has a ton of loser points. I can't even back that.
Yeah.
But they also have 35 wins.
Yeah.
So
does the Rangers. So does the Rangers, by the way.
Yeah, so does the Islanders and the Hurricanes. But we have more in Florida, so we'd still be in a playoff spot. Whereas Columbus should technically be 3 teams below a playoff spot.
Yeah.
The West is just as bad, I think, but that's not as bad. The West is a nightmare. That's a different story. Yeah, I hate the loser point right now. I've never really had this take until this year, but I'm looking at that and I'm like, Columbus does not deserve to be there.
No, that's why you spread it out 3-2-1.
I just like 2 and none. 2 for a win, none for a what do you call it? OT loss. I don't like rewarding losing.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. It really doesn't matter. I think it's like that you play so much like hockey if you play 5-on-5 and then the shootout also like that.
Yeah.
To walk away with nothing, that's brutal.
Win the game.
Yeah.
Stop trying to take it. Stop trying to play like defensive stupid ass hockey and just take it to a shootout and hope you win.
Yeah.
Mauro, break the tie between me and Brant because between Draisaitl or between McKinnon and Panarin.
Oh, I'd take McKinnon.
I disagree, but that's fine.
2 against 1. Break the tie on
McKinnon should have got it the year Taylor Hall won too. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I agree with that one.
Hart Trophy. So yeah, break the tie on 3-2-1 or 2-0.
Who?
More.
Oh, I have my own. I'm basically 3 for overtime and regular. I like the Olympic format. Give me the Olympic format, and I'm happy. Like
they're 3-2-1 too.
They're 3-2-1, but if it's an overtime win, it's still 3 points.
Overtime wins 2 points. Yeah, because that happened in the.
I thought it was.
This year.
I thought it was shootout only.
Because the juniors happened because the USA beat someone in overtime. They got 2 points, and if they would have they would have had the same amount of.
Regardless, I'm 3-2-1.
Okay, so
it's a very big European thing.
Goddamn millennials and their fucking participation points.
Transitioning out of hockey here.
Yeah, we've been on hockey a lot.
Yeah. Who's a worse owner? Eugene Melnyk or James Dolan?
James Dolan. Sorry.
Man.
I don't disagree. Is it
it's
because
close.
Is it because that Melnyk is stuck in Ottawa?
He's stuck in Ottawa? He's loyal?
The market of Ottawa in comparison to New York.
If he was in a bigger market, you'd be like, Melnyk is the worst owner in sports.
Yeah.
Fair.
Because think of all the different pots that James Dolan's in right now.
Uh-huh.
So he had the fiasco with firing the GM and everyone before the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Saying he's going to get Masai Ujiri and then didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Having that, did you see the guy go on First Take?
No.
So he hired this brand marketing guy.
Oh no.
And he went on First Take and basically said, Drake, the Toronto Raptors brought in Drake. The New York Knicks brought in me. This guy compared himself to Drake. to Drake.
Oh. Right.
Okay.
James Dolan, my favorite celebrity of all time.
So the same time. No, but this wasn't James Dolan that said that.
Oh, the brand guy did.
The brand guy compared himself.
Even better.
So then the brand guy also went on to basically say the interim coach isn't long for the job and he's going to be fired.
Oh, good. Who's the brand guy?
I can't even recall his name right now off the top of my head.
He's not important.
No, well, he is because if they brought him in to do this, all right.
But
so then
not important in scheme of the world. At least Drake national.
Yes, that's exactly my point. Yes.
Is this Steve Stout?
No, it might be. Is he black?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Steve
Sounds like a
Stout.
great name.
Yes, this guy. So that happens. He goes on First Take and he embarrassed himself. And then the Knicks and James Dolan put out a statement and said that Steve Stout doesn't speak for the team.
Isn't he
they
your
have the
brand
trade-
representative?
Yeah, he's the brand representative, but he doesn't
So
speak for the team. He's
but
not
like
the GM.
does if he represents your brand, he
But
literally
the
speaks.
Knicks never said to go on First Take and be like the coach is going to be fired and to
And
compare.
then you
your-
hired the wrong guy for the job. Like his role literally says he represents your brand. He's the brand representative. He is
like
representing your team.
It's
I
like
think
Drake is
he's a
the brand
consultant.
ambassador.
He's a consultant, like he's a brand
Okay.
consultant. He's not the brand
Yeah.
representative, really.
Oh my god.
He's
dude.
brought in to rebrand the Knicks. So then that happens,
Okay.
and then while this is all going on, there's been Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers. So he's been
Pretty
trying
cool.
to
Pretty
get
cool.
cool. He's
That's all. That's all I
He's
know.
been- he's been trying to move the Clippers out of the Staples Center and
Good.
into Inglewood near the Rams' new stadium.
Okay.
But the problem is the LA Forum, where the Lakers used to play and all that, is owned by the MSG network. Who owns the MSG network? James Dolan. So basically, they've been suing each other back and forth over.
Steve Ballmer's got much more money, I think,
Yeah.
too. He's
But
one of the world's richest people.
yeah.
Not
But
even like at
They've been
sports people.
suing each. They've been suing each other over the right of Ballmer wanting to build a stadium there, because obviously if Ballmer makes a stadium, it's going to be better than the Forum, and no one's going to want to use the Forum. So
Right.
then they've been suing each other back and forth. So now Ballmer's just like, fuck it, I'll just buy the Forum from you, which is what Dolan
Which
should
you
have wanted.
do, just like
Yeah, because it's gonna make the Forum useless once the new stadium happens. So then this is all happening. This fiasco is happening while this is all going on.
Okay.
And then you have the situation with James Dolan and Spike Lee this week.
This was hilarious. I watched all of it on First Take. I was laughing.
Did you? I didn't. I
watched
watched
it.
like snippets of it.
Do you have the Knicks statement in front of you? That
No,
they
I don't.
posted?
I can pull it
Okay,
up.
I'm gonna pull
So
it up.
Mauro,
You keep-
explain to me basically what happened in the interview with
Okay, so basically, what's his name? Stephen A goes to him and he's like, okay, what happened? And he said, as I have for the last 28 years, I've gone in from the employee entrance to the
Employee
Madison Square
media
Garden on
and
33rd
Defensive
Street.
Village.
Yeah.
You see the
The
picture?
Penn Plaza.
Yeah, so he goes in, and apparently, as he goes into the elevator, some security guard goes to him, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna need you to step out of the elevator." And he's like, well, "I'm not doing that." He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna need you to step out of the elevator, and we're gonna need you to re-enter from the stadium from the VIP entrance." He's like, "I'm already in here." And he was saying this to Stephen A in response, like this wasn't part of the story of what he said to the security guard, but he's like, I know that A, if I've already scanned my ticket once, they're not going to let me scan it in again. And B, once you exit the stadium on a game day, they don't grant you entrance back in once you've left, right? There's no in and out privileges. So he's saying this to Stephen A, and he's like, okay, where does it go from there? And basically there was the whole feud, and that's what got caught on camera, that got surfaced on Twitter, the whole deal where it's, arrest me then. Put me in cuffs like my brother Oakley, right? Like he
which is
snapped.
Which is awesome.
It's hilarious, right? And basically, I guess two other guys he knew, he's like, you know what, don't worry about it. Spike, come with us. We're going to walk you to your seat and we're going to go in.
Mhm.
And I guess at halftime, so whatever, he's at his spot there. And he's saying, Dolan comes up to him at halftime, and, as part of the release statement that came out,
I have the statement here.
yeah, in the statement it says that they
I got it.
talked,
So-
and yeah,
Here's the statement. The idea that Spike Lee is a victim because we have repeatedly asked him not to use our employee entrance and instead use a dedicated VIP entrance, which is used by every other celebrity who enters the garden, is laughable. It's disappointing that Spike would create this false controversy to perpetuate drama. He is welcome to come to the Garden anytime via the VIP or general entrance, just not through our employee entrance, which is what he and Jim agreed to last night when they shook hands. And then they included the entrance that of the entrance.
Dude, it's my favorite tweet. It's so stupid. It's like the statement sucks.
Yeah.
This is like one of us writing a damn tweet about the situation.
It's like it's a brat fucking tweet. Like,
Oh,
this
dude,
Yeah.
guy-
like,
If you're
literally
using the
put
word
laughable
laughable
in
in
the
a statement, that's PR nightmare.
It's incredible. I
no,
love it.
they do like dash is laughable.
Oh, it's brutal. It's bad.
Yeah.
Look it up if you're not currently reading it, but it's hilarious. The entire thing,
Yeah.
start to finish. And then they I like how they posted along with it the picture of Penn Plaza and the picture of them shaking hands as if like those matter at all.
Mhm. So he keeps going on in the story, and he's like, last Wednesday I was at the Garden, and they had this beautiful show, 18,000 people. They did the Broadway of To Kill a Mockingbird, and you know which entrance I went in? The media entrance, the employee entrance, and nobody batted an eye. And it's basically like he's saying, between Wednesday and yesterday, which would have been Tuesday night's game, nobody said boo to him about this whole change in policy. I don't hear about no change in policy. I didn't get one email.
Wasn't it
I didn't get
28 years that he said that
28
said
years that he's been using this entrance, and nobody said a word. Now all of a sudden there's some policy change, and he's losing it on air. He's like, yeah, I didn't get no email. I didn't get no text. I didn't get nothing. And then Dolan tells me that I'm doing it wrong, even though I didn't get notified until after the fact that he wasn't supposed to go in there.
like,
So,
what's
I mean-
the big deal? What's the
Yeah.
big deal?
Who gives a shit? Your
for
fan
me-
base hates you as it is.
It's a big case of he said, she said, but in the end,
Other
why is this
people.
such a big deal? He's been doing this for 28 years. They went over the math. Then Max Kellerman asked him. He's like, so
How much
I had
expensive?
I had my guys reach out to you and run the numbers. So each ticket is $3,500 per, I think, for the pair or alone. Like all in all, like per season, like
And that's the season ticket price. so
it's like
less
300
than
grand per
$7.
season.
Yeah.
Times 30 years. Like they're saying that it's close to like $10 million that this guy spent. And over him not using
And you
a
think he
media,
can get comped by now? Like he basically
he's
is an
saying-
employee.
yeah.
Great, dude.
Yeah.
and he's basically saying, the day ever came that I was a day late on my payment for tickets, they'd be calling up my phone, they'd be at my door. But he's been good for it. And as a loyal fan to the Knicks for, he's saying since like the 60s for a freaking half century, you'd think it'd be that big of a deal. Just let him do what he's been doing for the last 30 years and let him do his thing. And he's saying that he's not coming back for this season. He's like, yeah, I'm done coming to Knicks game for this season. Maybe
And
next year, but this
the
year
best
I'm done.
part was that the Knicks beat the Rockets that night.
Yeah.
And RJ Barrett had that game-winning layup that he made,
Wasn't
and it was a great night. And then James Dolan can't stay in his lane. Sports Illustrated has an article power ranking the Knicks' most embarrassing PR statements.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
This is so Knicks. This
you
is
can
so
make that,
Knicks.
There's already a problem.
Unbelievable. So while this is going on, Spike mentions Charles Oakley.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hilarious because earlier in the week, Charles Oakley was in Toronto being celebrated during the Bucks game.
Okay.
And then you have in comparison the abomination that is the New York Knicks.
Where he's
I
taking
think
out
that's where Masai
handcuffs.
wants to go. It's definitely where Masai
Well,
wants
I
to
mean, the Knicks and they announced their president signing the other day. So good job, Knicks.
Damn. I laughed so hard last night watching those videos. I was watching the YouTube clips. Like I watched like a 9-minute video, then a 6-minute video, then another 6-minute video. Like I watched every single possible video I could of the situation because I could not stop laughing.
It's the most bizarre scenario.
Yeah,
Like it just doesn't make sense. Why would you do this to one of the most loyal Knicks fans?
Yeah, like he's brand advertise. He's free advertisement for the team.
He is your Drake that you're not paying.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Reggie Miller's tweet?
No.
Yeah, and he was saying, no, I didn't see the tweet, but he was
All right, here.
saying on First Take, like, Reggie Miller was hitting him up, and all these guys are in support of him. He's like, what's going on, Spike? Right? Like, I don't know. What did he say? Yeah, I want to hear this.
So you guys know the beef between Reggie Miller and Spike Lee, right? Yeah, the choke. Yeah. So he quotes the story saying that Spike Lee saying, "I'm done with the Knicks for this season." And then Reggie Miller's like, "Oh, have the mighty have fallen. It wouldn't happen at the Baker's Life Fieldhouse. Maybe it's time to switch your allegiances, Spike."
Boy. Oh, I love it. That's go Knicks.
What an unbelievable story. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
And I don't even know where how does this I don't know. I was sitting there yesterday and all of a sudden it pops up and said like Spike the Knicks deny reports of them booting Spike Lee from the thing. I'm like, what? How is this coming? And then like you see the whole story and I'm like, what the fuck?
It's silly. Like, this should not even be a news story. Like, just leave the man alone. He's paid you $10 million his entire life. So he's like, and he looks back at it now and he got asked the question. He's like, oh, wow, I feel stupid now. Like, he said that. And it's like $10 million. It's like Drake basically gets to do whatever he wants. Like, he's on air during the broadcast while the Raptors games are going on. Like, he's basically there doing whatever he wants. He's trashing the players, and obviously the NBA is going to go after and tell him to zip it because not to interact with the players during the game.
NBA was basically like last year during the playoffs, don't go to a road game. That's why he didn't go to Golden State. Which is fine.
Who's lost more money because of this team, Spike Lee or James Dolan?
Oh, James Dolan.
Yeah.
Because of the Knicks. Yeah,
but he makes money on the team. Spike Lee doesn't. The Knicks still make money.
Yeah, but all of the free advertisement that he gets for being known as the Knicks fan is pretty good also.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Why is this an issue?
Still a strong chance he's lost more money on this team.
This is how you treat it's still a way to keep him in the spotlight, you know what I mean?
It's so funny.
So
I love it.
I was just looking on Twitter and basically it's like Charles Oakley on the Knicks treatment of Spike Lee. You're cheating the people of New York, which is a fact. Like,
Oakley said that.
It's Charles Oakley. It's a ridiculous situation, and like I don't understand how Knicks fans have been through so much shit. I really wonder when the NBA just steps in and is like, sell the team, James.
Sell the team.
Which they can't really do.
Which you can't. That's what I was just about to say. It really doesn't matter whether we're talking him or Melnyk or anyone. It's like when it's the owner that's a problem, you're fucked. Because if they don't want to sell, they don't have to sell. Because this still makes him a ton of cash. The Knicks are one of the most
they're the most expensive team still in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're one of the most in sports. I think they're only behind like the Cowboys.
But
a couple of
just figure like he's got a monopoly over New York sports, basically, except for the Yankees and the Mets. Like he owns the Knicks, he owns the Rangers, and then he owns the network that they play on.
Like, what are you gonna say? You can't tell him to sell it. Why would he do it? He's still gonna, regardless of how bad.
Even if you do sell the team, they play on his network.
Yeah. Oh, that's brutal. It's bad. What is this? What is this?
So the Raptors finally bounced back after 3 straight losses.
Yeah.
To Milwaukee, Charlotte, and then the Nuggets. To beat the Suns last night. I was listening to this podcast and it was basically ranking all the head coaches in the NBA. And they ranked Nick Nurse number 1.
Okay.
I was just like, yeah, I agree.
I was surprised.
And then they're like, he has no negative to him. The one downside is basically his blind faith in Patrick McCaw. And I was like, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, my cousin rips him for me. He's like, I don't understand what he sees in McCaw.
Like
guy's a winner.
It's like if Zach Hyman didn't score.
Yeah.
Basically, if he had no production.
Right.
Like at least Hyman does stuff.
You can justify putting Hyman on the ice because he's got 24 goals.
But then, so with like a minute left, McCoss has a layup because Devin Booker just falls asleep.
Mhm.
And it was like not the game winning, but it put them up for good. I'm like, oh great, this is just another reason to like ride him some more, like for the next like forever. So I'm like, kill me. It's gonna be interesting because tomorrow they go back to Golden State and Steph Curry's, he's gonna make his return.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's gonna drop 55 points.
And still lose.
And they're gonna lose 85-57.
You guys didn't watch the Raptors game, did you?
I always saw the highlights. I didn't watch the game.
I watched the last 3, but not the Suns game.
So, Mauro, you saw the Nuggets game.
Mhm.
OG in that game looked fucking unreal.
On the weekend, he had 13 combined steals. Yeah, he's been playing lights out.
33,
He looked
31
good in the
points.
highlights.
Career high against
Denver.
against the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, like he's been playing good
He
basketball.
looks like since that Denver game, and it's only been one game since, but including that Denver game, he looks like a different player handling the ball. Like he looks more aggressive. And if he can make that jump like now, that would be insane.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody's been so hard on him. We haven't been seeing anything from him. But like these last 3-4 games, like he's really stepped up to the plate.
Exactly. And then that's the thing with Pascal. Everyone's been like shitting on him for the last like couple of weeks because he's been in a rut. I'm like,
he's been killing them though.
You have no centers, and you have no backup point guard.
Yeah, like I think he's just trying to do too much. He's trying to overcompensate for everything that's around him, and then like his numbers haven't been there. Like he's been shooting at a low percentage. Like against Charlotte, I think he was like 6 of like 16 or something. It was brutal.
That pass OG from on the alley-oop to Pascal.
Oh, just like,
that whole chase start to finish, like you go from the Boucher block.
Exactly.
All comes down the thing. You watch that whole play, that's a backbreaker. If you're any other team, you're like, they're just dominating. Like, what do we do?
I think the key thing with OG is if he can provide not even the scoring, if he can provide some of like the ball handling so that Pascal can play a little more off ball because it not be relied upon so much. I think that changes the team totally.
Was it that game that Kyle got hit in the face? Or was it?
Yeah. So then they literally had no point guards in the game. And
what happened to Fred?
He's got a sore shoulder.
Oh.
Is there a word on Kyle or is he fine?
No, Kyle's fine.
Kyle was fine, yeah.
Because I know he came back to the game, but
no, against Charlotte, Pascal was 9 for 23. Like
it was bad. They don't really have any concerning games until Monday. Well, they have a tough back-to-back, Sunday and Monday. They play the Kings, who have the 3rd best record since like January something between like the Raptors and Bucks, and then the Jazz. So it'll be interesting to see. But then they have no games from Monday till Saturday. So
wow,
none or just none like that matter.
No, they have no games they play Monday and then they don't play until Saturday.
Does the NBA get like their little break that the NHL does? Like, and the NHL teams all get a week-long break throughout the year?
Not really.
They got a good break. They got a good break though at the All-Star that just happened 2 weeks ago.
Are they mandated a break like the NHL is or no?
No, I don't think so.
That's weird then.
It's fine. I think.
Do we want to get to our buried lead?
What? Oh, Tom Brady?
No, well we can talk about Tom Brady. I was thinking past that to the last thing we had on the list, but I forgot we had Tom Brady on the list. Yeah, do we need to talk Tom Brady? There's really nothing.
I think it's pretty. It's just weird.
It's the same thing every week, though. Like
it's something to mention. I don't think it's huge, but it's just.
We also talked about him last week.
Oh, did we? Oh,
no, I didn't know. I didn't know that. This is the first time I'd be talking about it, so I figured I'd mention it.
I mean, look, it looks like he's not coming back.
Yeah, like apparently today the talks between him and Belichick didn't go well. So,
but then Schefter, I think, came in and said they were normal talks.
Do you see him and Edelman FaceTiming?
That was weird. He's coming back. He's coming back. And then at the end, he's like, "I'm not coming back."
Yeah.
What?
weird.
What's it called? Apparently, Bleacher Report was saying that the Patriots are basically interested in doing a swap, trying to bring back Jimmy G, and then
That rumor.
Tom Brady ends up in
If I'm the Niners,
San
I don't do
Fran.
that.
And that's what I'm saying.
Doesn't make sense.
But you're
Jimmy
like,
G just took you to a Super Bowl.
No. I understand that. But Bill Belichick did do Kyle Shanahan a solid and was like, here's Jimmy G only for a second round pick.
And
Sure.
here, let me take away a Super Bowl from you too.
Mhm. I don't know, man.
Everyone
Yeah.
said that those rumors are ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
Now can we move on to our buried lead?
Yeah. Let's
Sure.
do it.
'Cause this
I
is
think we
more
should do
like.
it at the end.
Do
because-
we have anything else? I haven't had the
I
thing up.
mean,
this entire
okay, Yelich is signing a 9-year extension worth $200 million.
Yeah.
Yelich.
And
That's
basically, they're getting him on a
securing the
discount
bag.
because
that's not much.
Yeah. It's only
No,
like
well,
27 or 23 per
so
year.
they're
Like it's
basically
not the
getting him on
usual
this
30.
deal. They're getting him on this deal because
Busted his kneecap.
no. Because he has a team-friendly deal, I think till 2022 or something, 2023. Like it's got like more of on it, and the Brewers are basically like, fuck that, we'll scratch that up, and then we'll
Oh,
sign you
really?
to a longer-term deal. Yeah.
I didn't know.
So
that.
it's more of a team-friendly deal. It's still a team-friendly deal in the long term, but like
Right.
it pays.
But he
him.
gets more for these next 3 years.
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then the other thing is Nate Pearson. Like he's been dominant.
Yeah.
Nate Pearson might be the best starter on the Jays right now.
He probably is.
I don't know how hot that take is. Like, I haven't really seen Ryu. Like, I know he had a good first start,
In
but
terms of stuff in the league, he's probably top 10.
Yeah,
No.
Was
In
it
all of-
Passon that said he's got like top 5 talent in?
Yeah. Like on pure stuff. Yeah.
I don't know too much about Nate Pearson. I've met the guy. He's huge, and I hear that he can throw over 100 easily, like without even trying. So yeah, like this, I hear that this guy's the real deal. So
his
yeah,
pitching
I'm
coach
in.
said he hit 10. Was it 107? He said, like he can
past,
throw effortless 103. It's like that's nuts. I mean, I understand if you're Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro, why you don't bring him up. My flip side of the argument is I don't like. Does the service time work? Is when you come up? Is that when your clock starts, or can you go back down? Is it just like accrued?
It starts when you're up.
Starts when you come up. It's not like
So the
however
reason
much
why-
time.
It start if he starts the year with the Jays, it starts then.
But does it end if he goes back? Or like, does it take a
No.
pause if he goes back down to
No.
AAA?
I don't think so.
Because I was going to say you could do what the Padres did with Chris Paddock. Because they did the same thing. They sent him down in the middle of the year when they weren't competing.
But he's still going to be eligible for free agency in 5 years from now.
Because they also didn't send him down very long. But
So-
like, I think that's like it. If you're trying to get that extra year at the end, then like I get it. It sucks. The rules shit. I understand why you're doing it. But if you're gonna just kibosh that, and your argument is you're trying to control innings, bring him up. And if you're not competing come June, July, send him back down and control his innings because he helps his team.
Yeah, I think it's got to be goal oriented, right? Like, are they trying to compete, or like I don't know, like what they've come out as, you know, like I know they brought in some good players, but like you probably have a better vibe as to what this team is than I do. Like, do you know, like, are they in it for the wild card this year or no?
I think they very well could be.
No,
I don't
It's
think
like
they are.
it's
but
like a 5 to 10% chance they can make the playoffs.
They're a hell of a lot better than they were last year, and if all things go right, they could be in the wild card race.
So initially coming to this conversation, I was gonna say, well, my thought was like earlier in the week, just bring him up, man. He's probably your best pitcher. But thinking about it more from a logistical side, I don't think you can. I think you need that extra year because if you don't, you're setting it up in 6 years for Guerrero, Bichette, Biggio, and Pearson all being free agents at the same time.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh boy.
On
Right?
the flip side, on the flip
doesn't
side, if you're Nate Pearson, do you not look at it like I can be an MLB player right now and you're holding me back? Do you not hold some sort of animosity towards that team? Like a little bit? as opposed to like, you know what, we're just gonna give it to you. We trust you. Let's go get up here, do your thing. Because like if you have that faith in me at what's he 23?
Yeah, but like everyone's done this. Like Chris, it happened with Chris Bryant. It happened with,
And Chris Bryant's doing the team.
yeah, but he yeah,
he doesn't want to be there anymore.
Eh.
Like that's what I mean. Like, why not try and throw some positive vibes
I would
on
try to get him to an extension now, like the Luis Robert, you know.
Okay. Yeah. You went muted. I get it. I mean, I think it would be fun to see any of these guys get extended within the next 2 years, because then you have these guys for the long term, right? And you're not worrying about it 6 years down the road or whatever the term is. But it's not a whole lot of realistic to it. Where I don't know, man. I think this team has the best chance to win with Nate Pearson in it, and as the management group, you need to decide whether you want to win, like you're trying to get wins now, or you're worrying about 6 years down the road. Personally,
well, realistically,
I'd rather look long haul, but
I'd look
with
long.
Everyone,
I'd look
with
long
every
haul,
type,
but
right?
to Ameer's point, right? Like you don't want your entire core coming up at the same time. No,
I get that. Yeah, I mean, at some point, there's got to be one guy where you're not like abusing the system of we can just save a year by keeping him down for a month.
I mean, did they abuse the system on all of them?
Yeah.
Anyway,
no,
yeah.
technically not, right? Like realistically, it was only Biggio that they brought up when they could.
Yeah.
And then they held Bo until August, I believe it was.
Let me check Fangraphs just to make sure if the
Bo came up like mid. It was like July or August.
July? And then Vlad was May or April.
I think I went to like Bo's second game.
I don't know. I've yet to see Bo play live because I just stopped going to Jay's games. It's nuts.
I went to Vlad's first game and Bo's second game or something.
Yeah,
that was the only reason I went.
I forget what I was going to say. Shit. I don't know. Team will be fun to watch. I'm excited. Oh, that's what it was. Realistically, it is keeping Nate Pearson down until is it May or mid-April? So that's a month.
Yeah.
That's what, 6 starts tops.
Mm-hmm.
Is keeping Nate Pearson down for 6 starts going to make a difference?
No. To the team?
Like,
not
I don't
really.
think so. I don't even to him though.
Like,
I don't know.
Like I understand. No, well, like even still, like to this argument, it sucks. I really want to see Nate Pearson as soon as possible, but it's 6 starts. Like it's different when it's a position player and he plays every day, and that's like 20 games you're missing out on. This is 6 games that Nate Pearson's not going to play. Realistically, it's not going to hurt the team if he's not on the team. He's going to slot in as a 5 guy when he gets back, because you're going to come in for probably Trent Thornton, I think, has the lead track on that right now. Maybe Chase Anderson after his recent debacle.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not that big a deal.
I would rather not in 2026 all 4 of them be free agents.
I've never thought of that until
I think
you mentioned it.
Yeah, well, I'm smarter than you. What do you expect? I flexed on my degree on my younger brother today.
Right, I am the one here without the degree.
No. So this morning, my little brother was up and he was just on his phone watching YouTube while my dad was making breakfast. It's like, why don't you go shower now, and then you can watch your YouTube while you eat breakfast? He's like, that doesn't seem very smart. I'm like, well, that degree on the wall would beg to differ. Yeah, like
there's a running joke between that going with a couple of my buddies, because my one buddy, we 2 of us took the year off, right, and he went to school right away, so he got his degree first. So for the entire year, he was ripping on. He's like, yeah, well, I have the degree. So we're like, fuck. So then my other buddy got his degree last year. He's like, yeah, now you can't say that. But the buddy that got his degree first is now going for his master's.
Oh,
so it's just like, yeah, but I'm getting my master's. And it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah, I would rather, I'd work at, so my solution is basically work an extension with one of them, any of the 4.
Yeah.
And then you don't have this problem.
Yeah. I mean, even if they flop, is it really that big a deal?
No.
You just got to pay someone a little more money for the next however
and
long.
And the guy I would probably do it with is Bichette.
Okay. I was thinking maybe Biggio because he's not going to command as much.
Yeah, but that's kind of why like I'd rather just let it play out with Biggio because
He's not going to command as
you're
much
not
in the
going to
end.
save much money on that. Meanwhile, Bichette,
Bichette could end up making a shit ton of money at the end of it,
exactly,
or he could be like a Brett Laurie
I don't
because
think
his numbers.
I
His numbers
don't
are
see
frighteningly
that.
similar. Have you seen them?
I don't see the situation where he's like that though.
He doesn't play
Honestly.
like Brett Laurie.
No.
Apart from the fact that his
One
swings
plays
are
shortstop.
yeah. Apart from the fact that his swings are 150% every time,
Mhm.
they're completely different style of play.
Also, one is the track record. Like Laurie didn't have.
He was a pretty high prospect.
No, he was, but he wasn't as high as
Bichette.
Bichette was. I'm trying to
That's
pull
fair.
up the minor league numbers for.
Who you got? I'll pull up the other ones.
I got them both, but like, they're not
Close?
dissimilar. Like I understand the comparison. They're not bad. Yeah.
I hope he's not. I hope Bichette's everything he was for the last 2 months, but
Mhm.
who knows? It could happen. He also
Yeah.
did get hurt at the end of the year, which
Bichette did?
he had a concussion. I think it was.
Did he? I
They
can't
held him
remember.
out. They held him out for like the last 2 weeks. I think it was.
Gotcha. But it honestly doesn't worry me.
Concussions aren't as hard or as big of a deal in baseball because you're not getting hit
No.
unless
I
you
mean,
take
if
a
you're
pitch
running, it's a big deal.
yeah, but like
Sliding and
he's
running,
at the
yeah.
time to heal now, where it's like running on it isn't going to be as bad.
No, for sure. All right. So, last but not least,
Yeah.
A buried lead.
yeah.
The coronavirus.
No, Corona is down 33%.
Yeah.
There's a surplus. We need
Drink more Corona. Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
So basically, the spin I took on this is that Italy's basically in a huge fucking shit fest where basically everything's being shut down, from basically everything from schools to sporting events to everything. Like
The
government
coronavirus
is-
is what you're telling me.
yeah, like the government is basically in what it looks like a full panic mode in Italy, and they've basically banned all fans from attending sporting events for a full month now to basically, any sort of precaution they can at this point is being taken to stop the spread. Because like I think Iran and Italy are basically the two biggest places with the most cases,
outside
the biggest
of
outbreak.
China.
Yeah. So
that's a lot of money, no? There's
that's
a lot of
of yeah, and sporting directors across Italy are furious right now because like today was supposed to be Italy versus in the Italian Cup, it was supposed to be Juventus versus AC Milan in the semifinal for the League Cup game. And then on Sunday was supposed to be Juventus versus Inter in basically a first place versus second place showdown for the league title.
Mhm.
And both of them got postponed, and they're all saying, at first it was, oh, well, I think they're doing this just to, help Juventus's chances or to help the other team's chances because it's a home game for Milan, and to have that postponed during and even they're playing games behind closed doors, and they changed their mind from it was supposed to be played behind closed doors to now it's being postponed completely. Like Sunday, I think they postponed like 5 games, and like even now, like today they had to postpone another game. Last Wednesday or Thursday they had to play a game behind closed doors because it's mainly in the northern region where Milan is, and between Milan,
like we all know.
Genoa, like I don't know, at the top of the boot is where everybody's basically worried about this outbreak, and it's just gone completely mad. And like I know you mentioned it that the Olympics are in jeopardy and everything. Like it's just
a lot. Like so,
mayhem.
The Olympics, they're in serious talks right now about canceling the Olympics in Japan in the summer.
I think they have to. How can you have it right now?
It's am I wrong in saying we're kind of going a little overboard on this?
I don't think so when you consider the fact that you're putting at danger the lives of professional athletes.
But you're not. You're putting at danger the fans that show up. But like realistically, the death rate of this thing is 2.7%, I think it is. Or not even that much. It's low. Like
They're
as far
overblowing it in the sense that
this is lower, but then pretty much everything by about 10 or 12%.
But
they're
what if
overblowing it in
LeBron James goes over there, gets coronavirus, and dies?
He won't, because he's got the immune system to handle it, is the thing. Like there's no athlete in the world that is at that level that they can't handle the coronavirus. What it does,
Do we know that?
Yeah, there's been no one that's died that's been in like normal state that I know of. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean,
everybody who's died from this, like to my knowledge, everybody who's died from this disease was either a young child and or a senior, like both with relatively weaker immune systems, right?
Exactly. So that's the thing. Like I feel like the whole canceling of sports and shit like that is kind of weird because it's not going to affect the athletes. It will, like, obviously they're going to get sick, but it's the same as a flu. Like the flu has killed more people, I think it was last month, than coronavirus did.
Yeah.
Like, we don't cancel sports because the flu outbreak hits harder, and I don't know.
Yeah, and a little weird. Even last month, like teams left, right, and center. Oh, you know, this player has an illness. They're not going to make the trip. Mm-hmm. Right? Like there's a flu bug that happens every year right around this time. The changing of the weather, the season change, and all of a sudden everybody's catching the flu. Mm-hmm. Right? So
it hit the Leafs. Fucking what? 3 or 4 guys went down for.
I just don't think that I don't think you can take it
as
serious
lightly
enough. Yeah. You still have to be concerned for people's lives.
Yeah. No, I agree with it.
Sure.
I agree with it, but I still think it's getting overblown.
It spread quickly as hell. Like it's up to, I don't know how, as of January 30th, it hit 8,100 people. There were 170 deaths for a fatality rate of 2% in 20 countries. So like it spread quick considering it's been around since like early 2020. Like it wasn't even in 2019, right? So it's a fast moving disease, but I just feel like it's one of those things that it's not a big worry on like the actual athletes themselves. Mm-hmm. And you're now talking about like billions of dollars you're losing across all
in revenue for all these teams that are losing their mind over it.
Mm-hmm.
And even
like if you're that concerned as a fan, don't go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I'm shitting my pants about going to even Mexico next week. Like
apparently Mexico's not that bad. Where are you going though?
Cancun.
Yeah, apparently Cancun's fine. I heard that yesterday. Apparently Mexico's not that bad with it right now.
But it's just because with all the different people flying in and stuff,
yeah. You never know, right?
Exactly. That's what I mean. But you never know about this.
But you'll be fine.
I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, unless you have some ridiculous immune disease that you've never heard of, or someone in your family does, then you never know.
Like,
but
it takes years and years to plan for the Olympics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know when you have to make a final call.
Got to be soon, no?
I would assume so.
Is it June?
No, isn't it July?
July?
I think so. Let me look it up.
It probably make more sense to be July because the summer technically doesn't start.
July 24th to July 9th. Or August 9th.
They go back in time?
Yeah. July 24th to August 9th.
Okay.
That's the dates.
So you're closing in on 4 months.
Mm-hmm. Even the Euros for the European Cup for soccer, like it's supposed to be held all throughout Europe, with the first game starting in Rome in Italy. So you don't think that that's going to be an alarming thing for them to look at, right? Like, especially with teams going back and forth throughout the entire continent, left, right, and center, and then you're asking for it to that's assuming that they don't fix things and get it under control by then, which they have 4 months to do it. You'd hope they can, but
yeah, you got to think. What city is it in Japan that's hosting the Olympics?
I think it's Tokyo.
You got to think this costs the city a lot of money.
Of course,
infrastructure, everything.
Yeah. And if you put all of this into it and then it got canceled, that's not good on the economy of Japan, and that's not a place you want to fuck up. I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's a little much considering it's not that deadly of a virus. Like we didn't even do this for H1N1 and that killed a shit ton of people. Like I don't know.
So I saw some of the memes on Twitter. Mm-hmm. and it was basically like, who's playing Jumanji and make it stop.
Jesus.
Because they're like, look at all this stuff that's happened in 2020. You got coronavirus, you have Kobe, you have Juice WRLD dying. What else? What other tragedies have
Yeah.
happened? Like
There's
they're
been
like, make it stop.
Yeah.
And then did you also see the asteroid thing?
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, I
I
saw
heard.
you-
I read into
that-
that article. I saw
Did I
that.
read? Yeah, I put it.
Mhm.
I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? So apparently it's like gonna be 6 million I don't know how many kilometers away from the Earth, but it's not supposed to hit the Earth. But even like
Close.
the threat, yeah, I'm just like, why? What?
Yeah. 2020 sucks.
Yep.
Tough
Shitty
year.
decade.
Tough year in March.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
I feel like we're going a little overboard.
I don't know. I don't
Sorry if
like
you've been affected by it, but
like people's lives are on the line, right? Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
we're gonna lose the boomer generation.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Is that it for this week?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Any other late breaking stuff?
Nothing's popped up that I know of.
Apparently on Twitter there's this clip going around of this. You know how they have those like little kids play during the games? Like
Yeah.
Sorry. No.
so
In
like
what?
in basketball, like the intermissions will have like the little kids play on the court. Basically
Okay.
I had this kid at the Knicks game like schooling everyone, putting the ball through his legs and stuff. And everyone's like, oh, the Knicks need to sign this guy.
They should make him the owner. Maybe he'd make better decisions.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for this week. We'll probably be back next week.
Yeah.
Until then, see you guys next time. Peace.
Okay.